everyone, I'm Rory, aka the Guitar Ninja, and in this video we're going to do an advanced riff of the week. This is a proper little challenge designed to get you sliding, hammer-ons and pull-offs, all that sort of stuff. And yeah, basically just an awesome challenge. In this video as well, before we get to the end, you'll have a chance to win this guitar for free and access to the Guitar Ninja Academy Premium and other bits. More information at the end of the video. Okay, so as you can see, we're picking the first note and the last note, and that is it. One note per string with that an entire amount of hammer-ons, slides, pull-offs, whatever you want to look at it as. The other thing you might notice is that I'm rotating through these three fingers, between which one is doing the hammer-on slide. The index finger is being used throughout this whole thing. It's going to do a lot of being pulled off two and then sliding backwards. But yeah, this is a fun little challenge. Now, trying to do this on a single coil in clean is going to be even more difficult if you fancy making it an extreme challenge. I am using a humbucker, a fairly high gain humbucker, and some distortion here to really help these notes ring out. But yeah, the cleaner you go, the harder it will be. If you fancy a real challenge, try this on an acoustic guitar with 13s or thicker strings. That is where it becomes the ultimate challenge. But I tell you now, when I do that, my fingers hurt. So we have 4 different bars of music here. So the first bar we're going to play with our first 2 fingers. The next bar we're going to play with our first and ring. The next our first and little finger. And then the last one is just a 3-note thing. So again, break it up, nice and easy way to end it. Now the way I've written the tab, the last 3 notes are all picked. However, I tend to do those still as a pull-off and only pick the last note. So it literally is the first note of the 4 bars, the last note of the 4 bars that I pick, and the rest I don't. Okay, so let's just jump into that first bar. I'm going to start with my middle finger on the 6th fret. I'm going to pick that and slide it up to 8th fret. So once I've done that slide up to the 8th fret, I'm then going to pull off to my index finger in the 6th fret. Now you can see there's quite a big stretch here, so my thumb has to be in a nice strong low position. If it's up here, I'm going to really struggle to get the strength behind these notes. So I want a nice strong thumb position. So I'm going to pick, slide up, pull off, and then from that pull off, slide my index finger down to 4th fret. Then I'm going to stretch that finger back up to the 6th fret to slide back up to 8. So this is the motion we're doing up and down continuously. Now you can hear that pull off. Trying to do it this slow, I'm struggling to get the notes clean. If your pull-off's slightly weak, you can do a harder hammer-on to try and compensate. If your hammer-ons are slightly weak, you can try and do a harder pull-off to compensate. But the aim of this is to try and balance it so they all sound relatively the same volume as you play through. So if you're a music nerd and you want to count this, what we're actually doing is 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. So there's only the 4 notes, 1 E and a, that's repeated. So it's 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. So we've got 16th notes and we are playing exactly on each of those beats. Each of the 16th should land on time. It should also be around the same sort of volume where you can. But that can be very difficult when we've just picked one note and we're trying to maintain the rest with slides, hammer-ons and pull-offs without any more picking. So again, to demonstrate that first bar, it's the first 2 fingers. We've got these big stretches that we've got to do as well. So from 6 to 8 to start with. Again, starting with the 2nd finger. Okay, I've got my plectrum poised, but I'm not using it. Now once we've finished that first bar with that final slide down to 4, we're then not going to pick 6 again, we're going to hammer on to it. So we're not even getting a pick at the beginning of each bar, just the beginning of the 4 bars. Now the 2nd bar, we're going to start, instead of hammering on with the 2nd, we're now replacing it with the 3rd finger. So this should be an easier stretch. This should be the easier one technically. So we're going to hammer on with the 3rd finger now, slide up, pull off and slide back, exact same frets, exact same timing. All we're doing is swapping from our first and second fingers to our first and third. So then once we've gone from this note, so I'm going to pick this note for just for demo reasons, but we wouldn't have done that. Then I'm going to start with that hammer on. And that's going to give us that second bar. Our third bar, the same thing after we've got down, but now we're going to use the little finger. Now, this is the easiest for the stretch, but the hardest for a lot of people because their little finger's normally their weakest. Now, I play a lot with my little finger, so it's actually one of my strongest, but I still struggle a bit with it. So if I were you, I'd give this video a short pause, have a practice of going through each of those three fingers now. I'll demonstrate it one more time for you though first. So this is the whole of the first 3 bars of this advanced riff of the week. So you can see I went through 4 reps with the first 2 fingers, 4 reps with the next, 4 reps with the next. Now once we get to the end, it's actually the easiest bit to finish on. So then we've got a 6, 4 on the 3rd string, and then a 6 on the 4th string. That's our root note to land it on to round it all off. Now quite often, because of the habit of hammer-ons and pull-offs that I've got into, I end up hammering onto the 6, pulling off to the 4, and then just picking that final 6. So you could get from that last riff. So you end up only picking the first and last note, but again you can play those. So you could get this from the end. So all 3 notes of that last bar can be picked. I had to even think about picking them because I'm so used not to doing it. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is we're going to have a practice of this at a slightly slower speed. Now for the beginner and intermediate riffs this month, I've demoed 100, 125, 50, 150 and then the max speed of this, which is 172. However, this exercise is actually going to be harder to do slower because you're trying to make sure the strings ring out longer from your hammer-ons and pull-offs and things. So I'm actually not going to slow it down as much as 100. I'm going to start at the 125, 150 and 172. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, go. Change. Change. And again, let's go. Change. Change. So that was 125, let's go up to 150. Okay, 150. Starting with the middle finger, remember? And 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and. And again. Change. Change. Now that already actually felt quite fast to me at 150. Perhaps 100 was doable, but let's jump all the way up to the speed of the backing track, 172 beats per minute. Start in the middle. 1, 2, 1, 2, and go. Change. Change. And again, let's go. So if you were struggling with that, but very close, you might as well stick around because we're now going to do it with the whole backing track. I think it might be easier to feel and hear the timing with the backing track anyway. Now remember, there is a backing track video that's already been released. It stays at this same tempo and key the whole way through, so you can practice this over all of the sections. So not just the section we're about to play this over. That backing track is available. There'll be a link below to that. There's also the intermediate and beginner riff of the weeks, as there will be every month. So if you're enjoying this, please give it the thumbs up. Leave a comment on something you'd like to see as a challenge for future advanced riff of the weeks, and by all means consider subscribing. If you want to see these videos all at the beginning of the month, then check out the Guitar Ninja Academy as well. You can sign up completely free, and there's already 200 video lessons on there. Fair bit of advanced stuff and some backing tracks ready for you to play with. Okay, so let's jump into this now with the backing track. And there you have the advanced riff of the week, hammer-ons, pull-offs and slides. It's a bit of a crazy one, but I love it for the challenge aspect. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. As I've said before in the video, please think about giving it a thumbs up if you haven't already. Leave a comment on something to try in a later video, subscribe, and check out the Guitar Ninja Academy. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in a new one soon. Bye! So as I said at the beginning of the video, you could be winning yourself this guitar absolutely free. Basically, I'm celebrating the fact that we're getting back to some face-to-face things here in the UK. I'm celebrating the fact that I reached 30 years, which, yeah, most people don't celebrate getting older, but I'm surprised I made it this far with the stupid things I do. Plus, I'm celebrating the fact that the Guitar Ninja Academy has launched and all of that. There's just so much great stuff going on, and I wanted to celebrate by giving away one of my favourite finished guitars. I mean, just look at the colour of that, I love it. It is in practically new condition. There's a very small mark, but it's not even a chip or dent, it's just a mark. And I'll give it a whole clean condition, new set of strings and everything before I give it away to the winner. And as long as you're in the UK, I will get this shipped to you so you can be anywhere and win it. And on top of all of that stuff, you'll get 6 months access to the Guitar Ninja Academy. And if you're close enough to come to the clubs, a month worth of guitar clubs, all free to the prize winner. And all you have to do is sign up with an email address. There is no payments, there's no credit card details or anything needed to enter the competition, so please do. There are some terms and conditions, but you can check all of the information out in the description below. And the guitar itself I will demo in the playthrough video that will be going live next week if you're watching this on YouTube, or you can check it out right now if you're already a free member on the Academy site.